Hello art friends! Did you know that success to a good painting lies through a good preparation stage? And one of the preparation parts is color study. You found a subject that you really like and want to paint? Then you took a lot of references to be sure that your composition is nice and you want to start painting straight away. No. You need to prepare all the watercolor mixes before you start painting. I'm always encouraging my students to do a color study page in their sketchbooks before starting any painting. You can even make a color study page and decide not to paint that subject, or maybe paint it after a year has passed. These color studies pages is a wonderful source of information for your later painting endeavors. And to have these color study pages, especially for live flowers, is important because some flowers die super fast and it is truly hard to paint them from real life. But these color study pages are super important. You can do them on a different piece of paper, create a separate sketchbook just for this purpose. I even came up with an idea and design my own watercolor mixing notebook, which is only used for that. But how to properly make a color study page? Well, let me show you. It is quite easy. For a color study page, I'm taking my watercolor mixing notebook. It can be any sketchbook. Brush case with all my tools, water, mixing palette, paper towel, and the subject that you will be working on. First, I need graphite pencil to make a quick sketch, watercolors, round synthetic brush for watercolor mixes. Don't use your best brushes for mixing watercolors, leave them for painting. Eraser, maybe something else that you need from your pencil and brush tool case. I do these color study pages before bigger paintings and also just to practice watercolor mixing with the real subject in front of you. And to start, first we need to do a very loose sketch of the subject that we have. Don't be too focused that it should be perfect. Concentrate more on basic forms, like here I'm starting with a simple circle and then slowly I start to add petals. That is the best way to make loose sketch when you are not focused on details first, but first you see the major form and then slowly add more detailed areas. Now to pigments. Wonderful thing is to have real subject in front of you. You can always compare and you take a look, you turn it around, and think of colors that you see, that you notice, even the smallest notions of some pinks and reds. Color out all pigments that you might be needing. I always start with pigments. I take a look at the subject. For example, this one, I see that it's a very bright, interesting violet color, so definitely it's a mix of pink and blue. But if we take a closer look, then we see also other color tones. And I always name pigments that I will be using. Now to watercolor mixing. I start with the basic pink and blue, mix them together, compare, always compare. Paint out little piece on the white paper, because also on the mixing palette it can be slightly different than on the paper. I like this base watercolor mix of pink, permanent rose and ultramarine blue. I paint it out, write down watercolor mix recipe, add another pigment, check with different pinks and see how all they work. It's a moment when you are experimenting with the pigments that you already have in your paint box. I also like to name the plant, the original name of the plant, and add a date, sometimes even a place where I'm doing this. And to finish a color study page, I'm making a very loose, basic painting of my subject. If my painting is a big composition, then I will choose like a little piece of that composition, maybe a petal or a flower. And don't be here focused on the perfect result. Don't be focused here to make it perfect. Here, everything is about color, not the painting result, not the composition. It's only about color, what works and what doesn't. I also add notes about that. Well, I just finished this quick color study page and it took me only 10 minutes. And maybe you will ask, yes, but this doesn't look like a real painting, it doesn't have details, it doesn't even look pretty. Here, let me show you, this was a color study of an onion that I did a few days ago, and this is the end result. It shouldn't be perfect in the beginning, I was only studying colors. Here I have another color study page from a bigger composition. I started in January and it's just few petals with all the color notes. And this color study page is super important because I don't have time to paint this bigger composition in one sitting. And here it looks in the process. I'm still working on it. And this color study page, I get back to it every time before I have a time for my bigger composition. I open my color study page, check color notes, and I'm ready to go further. That's how I make my color study pages. Hope you learned something new and will try to make your own color study pages with your own design. And now that your watercolor mixes are ready, you can start painting. Hope you liked this video. Don't forget to hit that like button, consider subscribing to my channel and comment. Would like to chat with you.